What's up, boys? This is Tim and Gugabe. We're going live post-fight. We've never done this before. That was an amazing card. Like, what overall did you think about it?
Yeah, good action. A bunch of crazy main finishes. Good times. Yeah. So I felt like towards the end it was like, I don't know, Moreno Pantoja was kind of a weird fight. Yaya sucks. Du Plessis is the GOAT. Like, I doubted Du Plessis early for 2 fights, and then I accepted that he is our Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
And also, like, not to talk shit about Whittaker, but I feel like he's had this tendency to draw very thin, just stylistically. Like, he's always priced like minus 500, and it's like, apart from the Gastelum fight or Vittori, where they just got terrified of him. Like, even like Cannonier was in that fight the entire way through, and like Plessis was I was pretty confident he was too dumb to get scared.
Yeah, let's stick with the main event just to keep it. We'll go quick because I know you don't have too much time. You don't spend too much time. But if anyone in the comments want to talk about anything, go for it. But I wanted to play Volkanovski as like a parlay leg, but I didn't like anyone on the card to pair him with. Like, I didn't like Whittaker. I thought Whittaker was going to win. I didn't think it was going to be that, but there was like nothing I liked. I thought about Simon, but there wasn't enough tape of that other guy. So I'm a little upset with that. I had a little, I didn't have much action on the card. I had a little bit on Crute, which didn't work out. I had a good week last week, but so that was kind of annoying. I won a little bit I hit Pantoja. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. I hit Pantoja live and won like a little bit because I hedged off. But I don't know. Yair's just not very good. Like, it's just like, I don't, because we talked about his last 5 wins. It's like BJ Penn, Stevens was beating the shit out of him in a 5-rounder. Stevens wins that fight. But I thought Volkanovski just fought smart. Like, he uses wrestling and in the striking. I don't think you got the full striking of Volkanovski. He was more just like worried about not getting knocked out, which was smart. But then he ended up hurting him. He knocked him out basically, right? And he hit him with something, right?
I think it was a head kick or something. I wasn't playing like. The live odds go off like 20 seconds before the fight, so generally I didn't watch the end of the fights because it's just I don't care.
Well, I mean, there's not much to talk about that. Like, Volk did exactly what he should have done. Like, wrestled and then avoided the big kick. Like, Yair's head kicker bust in that fight.
Pretty much.
That's kind of what we had thought too. The co-main event, I thought it was probably this was kind of wild because I thought. We said technically it's like Pantoja can compete anywhere. It's not like there's no like area of the sport where Moreno's like way better, but we thought the cardio would come into play, and it was really weird because I was looking. I wasn't gonna bet Moreno pre-fight, no chance, because I thought Pantoja's like all his upsides early, but after like, dude, in round 2, I thought Pantoja was completely fucked, and then the live odds swelled to minus 800 for. And after round 1, it was like even on the live odds. I'm like, well, Pantoja just won a clean round. I don't really want to play that. I'd more so want some plus money on Moreno, so I didn't touch anything. Then Moreno, like rightfully in the moment, swelled out to like minus 600 to 800 because he was just like beating the crowd. It looked like Pantoja was gone. And then Pantoja just got the most random like surge of energy. He was like tired the whole fight, but just fought through it really well. Got a lot of back takes, and I thought he rightfully won the decision. But the live odds then switched back to Pantoja like even, and then Moreno switched to minus 700 in like the middle of round 3, and then I hit Pantoja plus 400, and then he got to minus 150 later, and I cashed out because I thought the scorecards could get weird. But overall, like, what did you think of the fight? And I thought Pantoja won. 49-46 Moreno's fucking horrendous in my opinion.
I thought Pantoja decision like pretty clear. I felt like it was more Moreno being an idiot than it was Pantoja like overwhelming me with his skill. Like, it's just like, yeah, Moreno was minus 1,000 after round 2, and probably like, I'm not saying he should have been that big a favorite, but like, it took a bed shit to throw away that fight. And, yeah, they rerun it tomorrow, and I'm still going Moreno. I think Moreno minus 150 is just about correct. Like, because Pantoja just gets so fucking tired, and it's just limited. Yeah, like, good on Pantoja. I've always loved him as a fighter. Again, I've stopped betting him in the last couple of fights because he's just been an absolute fucking mess these days. But, like, historically, I've loved him, and good on him actually when if he told me a year ago, like, if he told me after the Askarov fight that Pantoja would actually manage to hold the belt, I'd have been like, holy shit, how? Because he looked
how
up.
did Askarov beat him? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think of either guy on there. I don't know if it was a war because both guys look good or both. I don't know. I think the flyweight division's wide open, for anyone to take it. Fucking Al-Bazi could end up winning. It's just flyweight has a lot of solid fighters, but there's no one who stands out. I don't know. I guess Cejudo was kind of there for a bit, but I never even rated.
He wasn't.
I didn't even rate him that much,
He won the belt and he immediately went up, or he won the belt when he fought Dillashaw and he fucked off.
Yeah.
Cejudo only defended once, didn't he?
Yeah. So I don't know. The Whittaker and Duplessis, we'll talk about this. First of all, Israel Adesanya is the most uncharismatic person. There was a while people were like, oh, he's the next Conor. I was like, dude, he's terrible on the mic and he's weird. He's not an inspiring. I don't really fanboy out on many fighters or dislike many fighters, but he's the one guy. He's just annoying. I just don't think he's funny. I don't think he's charismatic at all. And that was a really, really weird post-fight stare down. But anyway, it was a great performance by Duplessis. Round one, after round one, I was like, oh, I think Whittaker's kind of fucked here. And the pace of Duplessis is a problem. And Israel's going to be the favorite, but who do you pick in that fight? I still got to go with Adesanya. But I wouldn't be surprised if he just kind of got gas pedaled either,
Yeah, I'd fight for Adesanya, but Israel's kind of weird because it feels like a lot of his championship fights, the other guys just kind of gone away. He just seems to scare people a lot. I don't know.
He's not going to scare Duplessis. Duplessis is not going to stand there. He's going to go after him.
I honestly think recent 5-round mode Cannonier might actually win the belt. The Cannonier rocked up against Vittorio. That cardio performance was it's very hard to beat that cardio performance.
Duplessis, though, I just feel the thing about Adesanya is Adesanya can fight very well going backwards, and that's the thing. Whittaker was getting gas pedaled backwards, and he didn't have an answer for it, and he started getting hit a lot.
And also, Whittaker, the finish started off a jab of all the things. It was just pretty random how he just started to die.
You made a good point. I picked Whittaker to win. I think most people picked him straight. I would say we both agreed Volkanovski at the same price was the better option. It's just Yair has to knock him out, And then in this one, it's Duplessis is wild, so a knockout's in play. And Whittaker's shown to be less durable than Volk. Whittaker has gotten hurt a lot, and he's been, even in fights he's won, he's been hurt.
And also Whittaker had a part. I mean, Volkanovski.
I was just gonna say, but also Volkanovski has that round-winning dominant upside with the wrestling and stuff. Where Duplessis could at least compete on the feet just with aggressiveness, So I think we're on the same page there. But Duplessis, I did not expect him to just kind of he big brothered him almost. He just fucking went after him and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's very hard to play a minus 400 who's not going to hit takedowns. Just generally, nature of the sport. It's small gloves. Again, I'm not saying there aren't fights where there is that big a gap in striking, but unless it's Max Holloway, where he's bringing 500 strikes and he's elite durable, it's
100%.
Even Uragi versus Joe Gomez early on the prelims. I was on Gomez, and that was obviously a hysterical outcome.
Yeah,
but the fucking instant knockout. But it's why the fuck is this woman minus 400 when she doesn't go for takedowns?
I thought Volkanovski was just I legitimately favor him 8 or 9 out of 10. I legitimately thought there's value in his money line, but I just can't it's hard to hit something like that straight. And I was looking for a parlay leg with him, and I was even her, I was I don't know, what's her name will actually come forward and she kind of hits hard. She's hurt. So I don't know, but overall, Duplessis in Israel is interesting. I'm really as a fan, I'm really cheering for Duplessis. I just don't like Adesanya. I never have. I don't know. He's a great, but I've won a lot of money on Adesanya, so that's always one thing. I played him versus Costa and in a couple other fights. So, Yeah, but like, no, for sure. Duplessis looked. That was a great performance. He's weird. I feel like he could just lose randomly to people who maybe aren't that good. But I mean, yeah, who knows?
What else happened? Bo Nickel annihilated that man.
Oh yeah, I don't really care about that. Like that striking performance tells me nothing. He still looked very awkward on the feet. I don't trust him on the feet. If he's going to become champion, he's going to have to wrestle. He better not strike. And then Hooker and Turner we can talk about, but we kind of were arguing about this like after the fight. I thought you were saying you thought like you would cap Turner minus 200 a rerun. I wouldn't. Like Hooker outlanded him at distance, and I thought he showed like he's a better grappler. Like I just felt like Hooker's durability was getting really overblown. They were acting as if like if he got touched one time, he was going to go down, and I felt like I don't just like when I watched him in the Nasrat fight, I'm like I favor this guy over Turner, but I guess he could be gone. So I just felt like minus 300 was really dumb.
Hooker's durability, one of those weird ones, because like we know so much about it historically. So it's like if it goes, it's like Diego Sanchez kind of a thing where it's like the one day it does go, he's suddenly getting knocked out every time because he has no fucking defense.
He's like Cerrone. He can get knocked out early, but if he doesn't, he can absolutely just like pour it on. But did you see Adelaide Bird scored round 3 for Turner? Like, is that the worst
late performance? I don't know.
Scored round in the history of the UFC? Like, I didn't even like 10-8 Hooker. Like, I wouldn't score at 10-8. Is way more rational than 10-9.
Yeah, like, and you can't even say you forgot you confused them. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but I mean they're both tall, but one of them's black and one of them's white. So I mean I don't know how you can.
Yeah, should be pretty obvious. I don't know.
I know you don't have much more time, but Lawler, that was pretty cool. Like even though
I think that's our biggest one ever, actually. Just looking at the props, I had I think I had like 2.5 U Lawler money line plus KO1 was like plus 1100. People were saying it was a dive or something. It's like no, it's Nico Price. Nico Price fights are just stupid. They just are.
I generally don't think stuff is like I lean towards stuff being legit. I'm sure some shady shit could happen. It did look a little weird live, and it's like, oh, it's his retirement fight. They had like a video, but I still think he just knocked him out. You know,
it's Nico Price. He just Nico Price.
But that was cool. I met Robbie Lawler one time in like 2010. He was at. It was so weird. I was at a bar called Patios right outside Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and some dude I look up and some guy was just looking at me by just like coincidence. And I was like, I think that's Robbie Lawler. It was like when he was in Strikeforce fighting Scott Smith. And I was like, this is back whenever I like would party still. And I was like kind of drunk. I'm like, you're Robbie Lawler. And I walked up, we talked for like 15 minutes. Nicest guy ever. And I have a picture with him too.
That's good.
So I was cheering for him. But anything else on the prelims you like or?
Not really. I've got to run. I've got an emergency dental appointment, so I'm in serious agony right now. But thanks for
I just thought I would give you a platform to, celebrate Duplessis because that was a lot of fun.
Yep, good stuff. Anyway, thanks, guys.
Cool. See you, buddy. All right, guys. I'm gonna roll out because I think I was planning on him being here a little longer, but it's all good. So I'm gonna roll out, and that was a great card. We will do the podcast next week for Holm and Bueno Silva. So thank you, boys. Bye.